Sports Card Strategy Show. Nathan Edward Murphinus the Great and Paul Hickey of nooffseason.com. We're brought to you today by Sports Card Investors, marketmoversapp.com. Murph and I always want you to go there immediately and save 20% using the promo code NOOFFSEASON, all lowercase. It's the best place to track the data of your collection. Learn who to buy low and when to sell them high. Backup QBs coming in last week in the NFL in week 8. And we're not making this up. This isn't a hypothetical. Basically what happened was you had Mike White for the Jets, you had Trevor Siemian for the Saints, and you had Cooper Rush for the Cowboys. Now, no one had these guys' cards. Let's just be honest.
Do they have cards?
Yes, they have cards. They have cards because if you were to go to marketmoversapp.com or Sports Card Investors app, you would see that Mike White had the number one most improved percentage sales card out of anyone. It's the hottest card. And his rookie card is in a Cowboys uniform. And so they all have cards, and the three of them had card values that skyrocketed after their week 8 performances. So what I want to talk to you about today, we can get your quick take on that situation, but what I really want to tee up for us to talk about is how can collectors and investors be prepared the next time this happens? I think a lot of shows will focus on this happened and now you can do this with Mike White's cards or Cooper Rush's cards. The reality is you can't do anything with Mike White's cards or Trevor Siemian or Cooper Rush's cards right now. But what you can do is you can prepare for this potentially happening again. So I thought you and I could discuss some guys on my radar and see what you think about.
Well, before you give me some guys, Paul, let's talk about how this relates to something that's been near and dear to our heart for a very long time, which is fantasy football, right? So the guys that win leagues, the guys that consistently do well, are the ones that are looking 3 weeks ahead. They're looking for the opportunities. They're not the bozos that wait for 2 of their starting running backs to get hurt and shit like that. They don't wait. They go and they get some other team. You know me. I don't like to get my own handcuffs. What I do love is demoralizing the people that I'm playing against. Because if my running backs can get hurt, so can somebody else's. So I don't get my own handcuffs. I go and get other guys' handcuffs and make sure that I'm prepared because potentially I could end up having 6 potential starters. It's the same thing with sports cards. You got to be able to be months and months in advance. If you didn't go out and understand that Derrick Henry, likely with the NFL record and carries, is probably going to get hurt at some point, and you didn't prepare for that as a fantasy owner, you're just not doing your job. Same thing with something like this, is that if you see that there's maybe some talent here or there. Now, I saw your list of quarterbacks you want to talk about. There is some talent there, and there is zero in some other places, which we'll have a good laugh about. But I am a believer that you've got to take a look at more with this whole me learning about sports cards again. It's kind of like fantasy football. You got to prepare and you got to be ready. When a guy like Mike White has a big week, defeats a division-leading Cincinnati Bengals team at home for his first career NFL win, you got to be ready to go. And I just think that it's a really cool topic to talk about. So I'm anxious to see and have a discussion about some of these guys.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you gave a good analogy there with fantasy football preparation. That's what we're talking about. We want you, the audience, to be the next people that can sell the Mike White card, right? We don't want you buying any.
No.
Don't buy Josh Johnson after last night. Don't buy Trevor Siemian or Cooper Rush. But let's talk about some of the guys. So the first guy I just want to completely check off the list and just eliminate is Jordan Love, because Jordan Love's prices are already way sky high. Don't even look at buying Jordan Love. If anything, if you own Jordan Love, you should sell him now because he's about to play with Aaron Rodgers being out. Would you agree with that, Murph?
Absolutely. It's kind of like the quarterback in San Francisco. We kind of saw that guy. Everything went up. I haven't been on the market movers, but I guarantee after a couple of his games and what he performed out there, those things are going down. Buying Jordan Love right now would be like buying Tesla right now after it has gone bonkers over the course of the last, week and a half, 2 weeks. Wait for the dip, buy the dip, get Jordan Love then. Get Jordan Love when Aaron Rodgers goes on a 5-game win streak and they're talking about contract extensions in Green Bay. That's when you buy Jordan Love.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm actually really glad you said that, because we shouldn't rule out ever buying Jordan Love. These things change all the time. But that's exactly when you should buy Jordan Love. You should buy him when Aaron Rodgers comes back, leads the Packers into the playoffs. They're talking about a love affair again.
Contract extension, all that. I mean, Jordan Love, another bench player for 2 years, sort of. That's when you buy the dude.
Yeah, and then maybe he could be traded in the season, and you've got a
starting quarterback.
Jordan Love. So the guy that I want to talk about, who I believe is the next Jordan Love, I mentioned him on the show that you missed, is Kyle Trask. Right now, Kyle Trask is the third-string quarterback in Tampa Bay. So he's actually behind Blaine Gabbert, who's the backup. And I read an article where Byron Leftwich, the offensive coordinator there down in Tampa Bay, said that they purposely are redshirting Kyle Trask. He's a second-round pick from Florida. They really, really like him. They don't want him active on game days at all. So I wouldn't be scared away by Blaine Gabbert being the backup there. I think Kyle Trask is actually a buy now for 2022, 2023, 2024.
23, 24, because Brady's coming back to Hickey.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be
I like Trask. Trask doesn't have many snaps. He doesn't have many snaps in college. He doesn't have any snaps in the NFL. But he's behind the greatest NFL player of all time, learning. He's behind an offensive guru in Bruce Arians, who can take advantage of the big arm. He's behind. Now, Blaine Gabbert is not the next coming of Joe Montana, clearly, but he's not stupid. He's been an NFL quarterback for going on 10 years right now. He's got a great mentorship going on there, and he's in a perfect situation, North Florida, where he knows, where he loves, all that. That I love that call. That is a great call. Second-round pick out of Florida, doesn't have a lot of experience. This guy shouldn't see the NFL field until the end of next year, week 18, when Brady's taking a break.
Awesome. So what happened with Jordan Love this offseason where his prices skyrocketed due to the Aaron Rodgers retirement talk? I can see that happening in an offseason or two with Kyle Trask. So I like him as a buy low now. All right, now to a few guys that could be buys now in the realm of Cooper Rush or Trevor Siemian, where you get an injury, you get a spot start, and you see a card skyrocket, and then you sell them. Here are some guys to maybe get now. I'm going to float the names out there. Murph, I want your analysis on these guys. This is why you're on the show, big man. All right.
Give me the names.
Buffalo, if Josh Allen misses time, does Mitchell Trubisky have a situation where he's a Trevor Siemian card?
He's in the right situation. Mitch Trubisky is in the right situation. He's got talent around him. He's got two, very different running backs in those spots. He is mobile. So he's in a spot to where they don't actually have to change the offense at all. If Allen goes down, they don't have to do anything. They just let him kind of run around, get, and make some plays with some of the talent that he has. Is Mitch Trubisky all of a sudden going to be someone who just takes the Buffalo Bills deep into the playoffs or something like? I mean, crazier things have happened. I mean, look at what happened with Philadelphia a couple years ago. I think that if you see a 50% increase on a Mitchell Trubisky card, you get rid of it stat.
Yeah. So
right then. But he is a backup quarterback. That's all he is. He's a backup quarterback, but he's in the perfect situation to shine, because it's not like you're going from, one type of offense to another totally different type of offense. It's the same with Josh Allen as what it would be with Mitch Trubisky. So he can be successful.
Yeah, so there's a historical precedent for this type of thing happening. And you mentioned the Eagles back in late 2017, early 2018, when Nick Foles completed the Super Bowl victory. And So right now you can go on to Star Stock, and if you want to use the promo code no offseason all lowercase, you'll get a free $10, and you can use that $10 to buy at least one Mitchell Trubisky rated rookie optic from 2017 for $6.99. You can
don't buy him if you're going to get $10. Don't buy Mitch Trubisky.
But here's the thing.
Come on.
Here's the thing. You can get, but here's the play.
Or Kyle Trask's.
Okay. But just hear me out though. You could, Murph's saying don't, but you could go get Mitch Trubisky for super cheap, have him in you can make an offer too. You don't have to buy it now. Like right now you've got on that same card, you've got offers at $2.75. The latest sale was $4. So if you want to make an offer for $3 and get a Mitch Trubisky, here's what would happen. If Josh Allen does go down and miss any time, and Mitch Trubisky comes in, leads the Bills to a victory, that card's going to be worth $15 to $20, and then you just sell it right then. That's all.
Yeah, there you go. 400, 500% return.
So the next guy would be in Pittsburgh. There's actually two guys in Pittsburgh, and I actually think this could be a lot more realistic to dig into this situation and maybe spend a little bit more time on. Because Ben Roethlisberger's about done. I mean, and so you've got Mason Rudolph, who's currently listed as the backup there. He's a 3rd-round pick out of Oklahoma State from 2018. And then you've got Dwayne Haskins, who came from the Washington football team. We all know he sucked, but he was a first.
He's awful. He hasn't. Paul, you used past tense. Sucked. I'm using present tense. He sucks.
So that's
Dwayne Haskins. I didn't even know Josh Johnson was in the NFL anymore. Okay, and in 3 years, I won't even know that Dwayne Haskins is in the NFL anymore. Simple as that.
The announcer of the Jets-Bengals game on Sunday didn't know Josh Johnson was in the NFL anymore until he had to come in for a play.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so here's
the same thing will be able to be said for Dwayne Haskins, 2023. Done.
So Mason Rudolph is actually 6'5", former 3rd-round pick out of Oklahoma State. You can get his Don Russ rated rookie on Star Stock right now for 94 cents. Would you?
I don't mind Mason Rudolph. I think that he came into a situation, 2 years ago, and played moderately well. All right, he was basically a rookie. Basically took no snaps, the year before. I thought he did fairly well. He is mobile. He won games. I think what did he lead? He led Pittsburgh to what? Basically a 500 record. That particular season.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Not a horrible NFL quarterback. Do I think he's the guy that takes over for Ben Roethlisberger and just leads Pittsburgh into the next era of winning football? I don't know about that. But 94 cents, shoot, you can do a lot worse than Mason Rudolph for 94 cents.
Yeah, and the good thing is you don't need him to be the guy who leads Pittsburgh into the next era. But what you do need him to do is make a couple starts when Ben does get injured or does retire. You need him to have some hype. We talk about the hype machine on this show all the time. You need Mason Rudolph mentioned in some articles, featured on ESPN. Could he be the guy? You need him to be in a QB competition to see that. I can tell you who is not worth 94 cents, and that's Dwayne Haskins. So let's not even worry about that. Mason Rudolph has the best chance to be something there. It is not Dwayne Haskins. Period. All right, then I would say go to Star Stock, and I may do this myself, so you might want to beat me to it. Audience, go to Star Stock, use the promo code no offseason. You'll get $10, I'll get $10. And then for 94 cents, or you can make an offer if you want it. All you need to do to outbid the current offer is make an offer for 66 cents and get 10 Mason Rudolph cards. And if he gets a start, I'm telling you, it's happened already with Simeon, Rush, and White. It happened with Nick Foles. It's going to happen again. We talk about pattern recognition. That's what you need. What you were talking about earlier with the fantasy football analogy, we're trying to help you all have some pattern recognition. And I really do.
I mean, you were talking about penny stocks.
Yep.
That's what I was doing when I was waiting for you. Just buying and selling a couple of stocks. That's all I was doing. These guys are penny stocks. You don't have to put in a lot of investment, but the upside is big.
Before we go to the next guy, can you share any penny stocks you just bought before the show?
I didn't buy any pennies, but I did make a couple of sales. I sold some losers that I had, and just to replenish my cash in the account that I play with. So I sold a couple of losers that I'm down, 20-25% right now. But hey, just watching my Tesla go up 700% on that bad boy. Watching my General Electric go up, which I am up quite a bit, 3 times since I bought it at the lows last year. Doing pretty well there after a nice earnings beat. So yeah, just taking a look at some stuff. AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, just keeps going. Average cost basis of $85 there. Just watching that thing churn into the 140s, hopefully into the 300s by the end of next year.
Let us know in the comments.
What I got.
I want to have a spin-off show where Murph Jim Cramers it up here on the sports.
Yeah, just Jim Cramer it up. It's going to be great.
I'll tell you who my Tesla is. It's a guy named Miles Bridges, and we'll get to him a little later. But
give me a couple more backups because I want to get to a couple of these.
Another backup that almost won the job this year. We know he's not that good because he didn't beat out Teddy Bridgewater, who's not that good. But what does Drew Lock look like for you in terms of someone that if he gets the Mike White opportunity, because Teddy Bridgewater hasn't stayed healthy during his career, as we know. So
no.
I see a Drew Lock sighting. What do you think of Drew Lock? I'm going to pull up his cards while you.
Here's what I think. I think Denver threw in the towel in terms of over the course of the next couple of years. They're in a rebuilding phase, unfortunately. I think Drew Lock might be a part of that. I feel bad for Teddy Bridgewater. I actually thought he had a lot of potential when he came out of Louisville. He's just not with a great team. He's not with a great offensive line. He's got weapons. He's got tight ends, too, that can play really well. He's got receivers with your boy Jerry Jeudy and Sutton. I'm not really sold on Drew Lock, to be honest with you. I think you're going to see Teddy Bridgewater play another season there as the starting quarterback. Maybe if they kind of start to dip, they just throw Drew Lock in there and figure it out. The guy's got a cannon for an arm. All right, absolute cannon, but he hasn't proved that he can throw the passes necessary to win NFL games. Jamarcus Russell had a cannon. He threw it 80 yards from his knees.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm with you on Drew Lock, but what I do like about him is I think out of all the guys we're talking about in this conversation, I think he's most likely to get a chance to be a starter in the NFL somewhere in the future. And you can get his PSA 10 Prism rookie on StarStock right now for $58. And that's a PSA 10. Remember, the cost of grading a PSA card right now is $150 on the low end. So if you can actually get his PSA 10 Prism, which is the highest end in the hobby, for $58, that's not a bad shot in the dark.
Wait till it goes to 30.
Okay. Could be. You could get it for 30 on eBay right now. I'm only looking at StarStock. So you could probably get it on eBay if you were to bid on it for less than 58. So I actually
Denver's going to be to win some games. If Denver keeps losing and Bridgewater keeps losing and they get to week 12, 13, 14, and they just keep losing and they just traded away Von Miller. So the defense is they're going to give up some points, and what Bridgewater has proved to this point, he can't score more than a couple, 17 to 22, but that defense is going to give up 27. So at some point you could see Drew Lock. But I'd give it another 3 or 4 weeks, see if that thing can drive down to 30, 25 maybe, and you got a shot. 50 seems a lot for a guy that just doesn't have a lot of juice.
There you go. I love it. Murph helping us calibrate the price, the buy it now price, $25, $30. He likes that, so that's good. All right, 2 more guys in the quarterback discussion. One that I found just looking at the depth charts, no feeling on this guy that I have other than he was the 10th overall pick in 2018. He's Matt Ryan's backup right now, and Matt Ryan's getting up there. Josh Rosen in Atlanta.
Josh Rosen has no business even anywhere close to an NFL football field. He's awful.
So you don't think there's even any hype around
Zero chance.
Okay.
Paul, I have a better chance of seeing a bag of $50 million outside of my hotel room when I walk out after this show than Josh Rosen being a competent NFL player. He was awful at UCLA. I cannot believe anybody drafted that guy in the first round. First of all, he's an ass. Okay? He's not well liked by his teammates. He'll never command a locker room. I'm going to go back to a guy that I know, we both know, by the name of Tim Shornack. Here's what the NFL quarterback needs to be: dashing. He needs to be dashing in the locker room. He needs to be dashing with the fan base. Josh Rosen, nobody likes him. Nobody likes him. So how can you be an NFL quarterback? If $50 million is sitting outside my door when I get out of here, I will change my tune. I'll do a full 90-minute segment on how Josh Rosen's going to be great, but he's not.
Here's the interesting thing. I mean, I believe that the entire hobby agrees with you, because you can get on StarStock his rated rookie Donruss for 74 cents. And these are graded StarStock A's, so these are likely to grade high. And you can get select rookie for 35 cents for a StarStock A. I mean, talk penny stock.
This guy's Enron.
Okay.
Okay.
Murph says, regardless of the price, don't let anyone give
he is Enron, Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers. That's Josh Rosen. Next
Murph,
guy.
Let me ask you this. If you went to a card show right now, like a nice card show down there in Mesa, Arizona, or let's say Phoenix.
Yep.
And upon walking in, you were handed a flyer for something, a cup of water, and a Josh Rosen rookie card.
It's Phoenix. I'm probably dehydrated. Give me the bottle of water.
You take the water. All right. That's a good answer.
Take the water.
Now, the last quarterback in this discussion is Ian Book. He's from Notre Dame, and he was a fourth rounder this year, and he is now Trevor Siemian's backup in New Orleans. So what do you think about Ian Book?
I don't even know who the guy is.
Well, did you know who Cooper Rush was before his cards skyrocketed?
Well, I think you know who the backups are, but I mean, come on. No, I don't know who Book is. Maybe I will at some point. I don't know who Mike White was, but Mike White looked pretty good. And the guy threw for a lot of yards. He led against a not incompetent defense against Cincinnati. Man, he's kind of already proved it, but hey, some dude out of Notre Dame, fourth-round pick. Jamarcus is backup and Trevor Siemian. Nope.
I think you mean
come back later.
I think you mean Jameis, but we'll give you a pass on that one.
But I do like here's what I do like about it. Sean Payton. That's the only reason to like that guy. Sean Payton.
Yeah, good situation. I mean, he's one
great situation. If he had Dan Campbell as his head coach, I'd be like, sorry. But it's Sean Payton. Sean Payton's gonna prove it over the course of the next decade, whether or not he's everything. We're gonna see. He's transformed the team in New Orleans to a more run-based team, screen-based team, defensive mindset team, tough-nosed team. It's not something that you could have said 4 years ago when it was, Drew Brees. They have to retool this team. So is he in a great situation? Yes. Just like Trask in Tampa Bay, Brady, 10-year quarterback Blaine Gabbert, Bruce Arians, who's not going to be around forever, let's face it, but Byron Leftwich will be. So great situations.
All right, so let us know in the comments below if you like any of these guys. Murph likes Trask. He kind of thinks Trubisky could do something. He kind of likes Mason Rudolph, hates Haskins. He's set a $25 to $30 price on a Drew Lock PSA 10. Says he would take a cup of water over a Josh Rosen free rookie card. And he likes Sean Payton down in New Orleans. I like Sean Payton too. I've always liked him since he incorporated the Reggie Bush and Deuce McAllister combo back in the day. And I think
that was actually you and I's first discussion about the end of the workhorse running back was the Deuce McAllister, Reggie Bush situation. We talked about it back in 2006, 2007, that the end was near. Those were our first two major examples of that when we were doing our show in Michigan and we were doing nooffseason.com articles.
And for that reason, I think Ian Book is an intriguing guy just to look at, to see, because he's one Trevor Siemian injury away from being the guy in New Orleans. And we don't.
Which probably happens in the first quarter this week.
Yeah, and we don't want you to see this as the number one card on Sports Card Investor and go, God, I could have listened to Hicks and Murph. I could have had an Ian Book, Don Russell.
But Hicks, if you got $30 to spare, like, why don't you go out and grab, to your point, an Ian Book, a Kyle Trask, and get like 40 of them?
Murph, I could bid on an Ian Book Panini Origins RPA right now, rookie patch auto. I could bid on it for $11. There's 4 bids, so I'm probably not going to – it's probably going to be 50. But, an RPA – it's like a Trask. But it's like a potential now Trask if Siemian goes down. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
These are all quick flips, though. Trask could be a long-term hold. I think the rest of the guys are total quick flips, nothing more. All right, quick question. Then we're going to move on to the next topic. Is the Carson Wentz, Michael Pittman situation in Indianapolis for real? I think Jonathan Taylor's for real, but is the Carson Wentz, Michael Pittman situation, is that for real? And would you look into Michael Pittman's cards?
I'd look into both of them. I think I've always kind of liked Carson Wentz. I mean, Wentz was an MVP candidate before he went down in 2017. He played really well. He had comparable weapons. I like what they're doing in Indianapolis. I'm not a huge fan of Frank Reich and how he ultimately runs Frank Reich has never met a field goal that he liked, but I like Wentz and I like the weapons there a lot. I like Pittman. I like Taylor. I like Wentz. I watched the game last night because you had thrown a little nugget out there that we wanted to talk about potentially these two particular players. And granted, they were playing the Jets. They're awful. But this team looks pretty decent. And this is a transitional team right now. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to go from 4-5 up to, 12-6 or something like that. They're not going to do that. But I like Carson Wentz and Michael Pittman. I just think that they're pretty solid. I think Wentz is that kind of rare guy that just got smashed over the last 3 or 4 years. They found somebody in Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. He's got new life there. And he's with a quarterback head coach in Frank Reich. I like it. Relatively
affordable Carson Wentz cards still. So that's interesting that you say that. All right, I'm going to throw one. We were right about NFL, and then I want to get into some basketball before we got
about 6 minutes for some basketball.
It looks like after last night's Thursday night football game, we were right about Elijah Moore. My $17 RPA pick on Elijah Moore finally broke out 2 TDs last night. Does he keep
there you go.
Do you think he keeps this up?
There's no other options in New York.
All right.
I mean, honestly, there isn't. So why wouldn't he?
I love it. I think he's legit. Again, he was a lot of people's preseason rookie of the year pick on the
I think he's rock solid. He's going to have opportunities. Who the hell knows who's going to throw him the football? Hopefully it's not Zach Wilson. That guy's awful. I said it 3 weeks ago, last show. I said this guy does not need to be on an NFL football field. Mike White, freaking Josh Johnson's back in the NFL. I didn't even know that. All better than Zach Wilson. He should be the third stringer.
All right, that's our time for today. I'd like to thank the sponsor of our show, marketmoversapp.com by Sports Card Investor. Save 20% by using the promo code NOOFFSEASON, all lowercase. And don't forget to check out new partner Vanity Slabs. Go to vanityslabs.com/NOOFFSEASON. Or just use the promo code Paul Hickey, all one word, all uppercase, _1010. So it's a little bit harder to remember that and do that. Just go to vanityslabs.com/no-offseason. Save 10% there. Again, save 20% at marketmoversapp.com by using the promo code no-offseason. This is the Sports Card Strategy Show brought to you by nooffseason.com. I'm Paul Hickey. You talked to Nate Murphy earlier. I'm happy collecting. I want you to be too. There's no off-season in the hobby. Have a great day.